everyone. How are you guys doing? I hope everything is going well with you guys. Today I'm going to present to you guys my narrative speech. For today's narrative speech, I choose the topic of getting out of my comfort zone to begin my life. And for the general purpose, I would like to inform, and for the more specific purpose, at the end of my speech, I hope that you guys can identify the benefits of getting out of your comfort zone, of going to study abroad, and to um, to explore about the world, explore about yourself, learn about yourself, and develop yourself. Being born in a family whose parents rarely graduated from high school, they have never prioritized their children's educations, academics. Um, I decided to step out of my comfort zone to go study abroad in the US, to find my own self and build my own path. So before I came to the US, I so after I came to the US to study, I felt like I have never lived for 20 years. Um, for 20 years, because being born in a family whose parents rarely graduated from high school, they never prioritized me and my sisters' education, academics. I decided to step out of my comfort zone to go study in the US, to learn about the world, learn about myself, explore about myself, find my own self, and build my own path. So in my speech today, I would like to present to you guys about I would like to talk to you guys about my life before I came here, as well as it's similar to the reasons why I decided to go here to study abroad, and the amazing time that I've been spending here, as well as all of the benefits that I can get out of that decision. And finally, I would like to talk about my life after I received my bachelor degree. So firstly, talking about my life before I came here, as well as the reasons, the motives, the motivations that lead me to decide to make that decision. So since I was a kid, I've been always dreaming of going study abroad in another country, and it's always been one of my dreams when I grow up. However, that's what I thought when I was a kid. And when I grew up, I realized that my family, they don't have enough strong enough they don't have strong enough financial support to help me to conduct that idea. And that's when I thought that I have to give up, because and then after I graduated from my high school, I went to a Vietnamese university, which is the Ho Chi Minh City University of Foreign Languages and Information Technology. And after a few months of attending that Vietnamese university, I realized I couldn't fit that university. And the reason why I felt that way, I have to throw back in my high school background, because in my high school I went to a high school for the gifted, and where all of my friends, all of my peers, all of my classmates, they are amazing, they're extremely smart, intelligent, talented, gifted. I felt like I've learned so much from my classmates, from my friends. And throughout my classes in my high school for the gifted, I felt like I've learned so much, I've learned immensely so many new things, and I felt like I could develop myself to the best, to the most level. Um, and the reason why is that because it's a boarding school, we had to get up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning every day, and we had to we had to study like up at least up to 11:30 p.m. in the evening so that we can go to sleep. And if we don't follow those rules, follow those regulations, we might be punished or we might be expelled from the school. So I've been living under the hard that kind of way, living that kind of hard circumstances for 3 years straight, and that way of living had built me to become a more independent and a stronger person. That's why when I went into my university, I felt like I couldn't learn anything from that university. I couldn't learn anything from my friends in the university. All of the classes that I took, I felt like I couldn't learn anything new from all of the classes. I couldn't learn any new skills from my friends in that university. That's when the idea of going study abroad in a foreign country in the world to learn about the world, explore about the world, learn new cultures, learn new things, and develop myself. It sparkled in me very hard. And that's also when I decided to talk to my parents seriously about that decision. And you guys guess what is their reaction? Yeah, they rejected me. They rejected my idea of studying abroad very hard, like um, wholeheartedly, because they have so many fears, so many um, worries that like I'm just a little girl going outside to the world by myself, and like it's very dangerous for me, and I have to do everything by myself, and I'm not gonna have anyone to protect me, etc., and so on. um, and that's also the moment that I realized how serious, how passionate, how much I'm serious about my passion, about my interest of studying abroad. And then I took actions gradually to prove them that I'm capable of going to another country by myself. Um, I gradually received my English scores, my English certificates to apply to our school, and then I got into our school. I successfully passed the visa process and interviews to receive the international status to be able to study here. I finally successfully passed every single steps that I need to be able to go here to study. So they finally agreed with me, and they finally let me go, and that's why I'm here today. Um, so I've talked to you guys about my life before I came here, as well as the motives that lead me to make that decision. So now I would like to talk about the amazing time that I've been spending here, and as well as all of the amazing, fabulous, great benefits that I can get out of that decision. So I've been here for around 10 months, and during that 10 months, I feel like I've been living my best for every single day during 10 months straight. I've learned so many new things, so many amazing, fabulous, great things and culture from around the world. Firstly, I have improved my English significantly. Absolutely, when I was in Vietnam, I was able to use English. However, when I came here, my English skills just improved significantly, intensely. I speak more fluently. I became a better writer. I can listen and understand people better, and I became a faster reader. Uh, Secondly, I make many international friends from all over the world. For example, I make friends from the U.S., from China, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, from El Salvador, Congo, Spain, Mexico, Myanmar, etc. And through my international friends, I've learned so many new cultures from different countries in the world. For example, I would never know that there's a terrible war that's happening in Myanmar right now. I would never know that when a person sneezes, Americans will tend to say, bless you. And I would never know that the US is such a great country to build a person's career. Despite career, yeah. And despite all of those amazing things that I've learned, um, absolutely, because I'm here alone. I live alone, and I have to deal with every single things, like every single basic life struggles, issues every single day by myself. I've for absolutely for as every especially for international students, we feel and I feel lonely and discouraged sometimes during the time I've been here. However, I believe is an essential part of the process of growing up, of adult life. And However, all of those hardships, it helps to build me to become a stronger and more independent person, which is the things that I love the most about studying abroad. And those two elements of becoming stronger, being more independent, I believe those are the two most important elements that help a person to succeed in life. Um, so I've talked about how magnificent it is during the time that I've been spending here, as well as all of the amazing advantages that I received for out of the decision of studying here. So lastly, I would like to talk about what is my next plan after I graduated and received my bachelor degree. So uh, when I've been living here for a while, I started to receive questions from people like, would you decide to stay here forever and work here forever permanently, or will you come back to Vietnam and work in Vietnam and live in Vietnam for the rest of your life? So honestly speaking, I didn't have a certain answer for that question yet. However, it doesn't seem to matter to me at all because I'm still enjoying my life greatly, intensely when I'm here. I've been living my life greatly for every single day. I've been appreciating my life for every single day, every single moment, and moments that I create here. So approaching to the end, you guys have been great listeners. I appreciate your listening, and during my speech, I have informed and presented to you guys about the story of my life, of myself getting out of my comfort zone, going to study abroad in the U.S., and as well as the reason why it led me to make that decision, as well as like the amazing time that I've been spending here and all of the benefits, advantages that I received out of that decision. And finally, the decision I'm gonna make after I receive my bachelor degree um, and graduated from a university. So so despite being born in a family who's in a family which like never put education as the first priority, um, I still and I got rejected like very hard from my parents when I had that idea of studying abroad, or I have been going through many hardships during the time that I've been studying here and living here alone. I still receive a large amounts of benefits, of advantages that I can get out of that decision of going here to study. So from now on in your life, in you guys' life, if you guys have ever thought about or have ever had the idea of studying abroad or just simply going to another country to travel the world, I encourage every single one of you, don't ever hesitate to conduct that idea because I'm sure too guys, it's gonna be one of the best amazing times during your life and you will never regret doing that. Thank you for listening. Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope that everything is going well with you guys. Today, welcome you guys to my persuasive speech. And for this persuasive speech, I choose the topic of overpopulation. The generous purpose of this speech is to inform, and the more specific purpose of this speech is, at the end of my speech, I hope that you guys can identify the causes, the effects, as well as the solutions for a social issue which is the overpopulation. So, the Earth, home to 7.8 and 37 billion people, is being endangered by a very one of the most popular social issue nowadays, which is overpopulation. So now we, as citizens of the earth, we're living in the same house together. We have to take actions together to save our own home. And conversations about overpopulation can quickly become very controversial because they beg the question, who exactly is the cause of the problem and what, if anything, can be done about it? So each human being has a legitimate claim on a sufficient and fair amount of Earth's resources. And excuse me, of Earth's resources, and because the Earth is our own home, so let's protect it by stopping overpopulation. As a citizen who lives inside this mutual house, which is the Earth, I have a passionate love for it. Seeing it facing multiple problems that is caused by overpopulation, I cannot stand it, but I better give this speech to give my very little effort to save it. So in this speech, I would like to talk about the causes, the effects, as well as the solutions for overpopulation. So, so first of all, I would like to talk about the causes of overpopulation. So there are many different causes of population, but in my speech, I would like to talk about the three, in my opinion, are the three most important causes of overpopulation, which are falling mortality rate, underutilized contraception, and lack of female education. So firstly, talking about the first cause of overpopulation, which are falling mortality rate. So it's like the primary or perhaps most obvious cause of population growth. Is the imbalance between deaths and births. So the infant mortality has decreased globally with 4.1 million infant deaths in 2017 compared to 8.8 million in 1990, according to WHO. So at the same time, lifespans are increasing around the earth and around the world, and those of us who are living nowadays are more likely to live longer than our ancestors in the past. And global average life expectancy has more than doubled since 1900, thanks to advancements in medicine, in technology, and general hygiene. Falling mortality rates are certainly nothing to complain about either, but widespread longevity does contribute to the mathematics of increasing population numbers. And the second cause of overpopulation I would like to talk about in my speech is underutilized contraception. The global fertility rate has fallen steadily over the years, down from an average of 5 children per woman in 1950 to 2.4 children per woman today, according to the UN Population Division. Along with that promising trend, contraceptive use has slowly but steadily increased globally, and raising from 54% in 1990 to 57.4% in 2015. Excuse me. Yet, on the whole, contraceptive use is still being underutilized. For example, according to WHO, an estimated 214 million women in developing countries, they want to avoid pregnancy, but they're not using modern contraceptives. And the reason why those women are not using modern contraceptives, there are a variety of reasons. For example, because of social norms, because of religious beliefs that discourage birth control, or because of misconceptions about adverse side effects, or a lack of agency for women to make decisions around sex and family planning. An estimated 44% of pregnancies were unintended worldwide between 2010 and 2014. And getting women the more access and the more agency to utilize family planning methods could go a long way in flattening the population curve. And lastly, about the last cause of overpopulation I would like to talk about in this speech is lack of female education. So, although female access to education has increased over the years, the gender gap remains. To be more specific, roughly 130 million girls worldwide are out of school currently, and an estimated 15 million girls of primary school age will never learn to read and write, compared to 10 million boys. And increasing and encouraging education among women and girls can have a number of positive effects, including delayed childbearing, healthier children, and an increase in work an increase in workforce participation. And plenty of evidence suggests that a negative correlation between female education and fertility rates. So if increased female education can delay or decrease fertility and provide girls with opportunities beyond an early age marriage. It could also help to mitigate current population trends. So I've informed you guys about the three most important causes of overpopulation. Now I would like to talk about the effects that overpopulation has caused toward our world. So similar to the causes of overpopulation, so there are three most effects that overpopulation has caused toward the earth. Firstly, overpopulation has caused ecological degradation. So an increase in population will inevitably create pressures leading to more for deforestation, decreased biodiversity, or spikes in pollution and emissions, which will exacerbate climate change. And ultimately, unless we take action to help minimize further population growth, heading into population growth, many scientists, they believe that additional stress on the planet will lead to ecological disruption and collapse so severely, and it threatens the viability of life on Earth. And each spike in the global population has a measurable impact on the planet's health. So for example, according to estimates in a study by Waynes and Nicholas in 2017, a family having one fewer child could reduce emissions by 58.6 tons CO2 equivalent per year in developed countries. And the second effect that overpopulation has caused is the increase in conflicts. The scarcity brought about by environmental disruption and overpopulation has put excuse me has the potential to trigger an increase in violence and political unrest. We're already seeing wars fought over water, land, energy resources in the Middle East and other regions. And the turmoil is likely to increase as the global population grows even larger. The last effect of overpopulation that I would like to talk about in my speech is the higher risk of disasters and pandemics. So many of the recent novel pathogens that have devastated humans around the world, including COVID-19, Zika virus, Ebola, and West Nile virus, they all originated in animals or insects before passing to humans. And part of the reason the world is entering a period of increased outbreak activity is because humans are destroying wildlife habitats, and we are coming into contact with wild animals in a more regular basis. And now, when we are in the midst of a pandemic, we already know how hard it is, how difficult it is to social distance 8 billion people in the world. So I've informed you guys about the effects that overpopulation causes to the world. So now I would like to talk about the solutions that we can make so that we can solve this problem together. So the combined efforts of spreading knowledge about family planning, for example, in Vietnam, they make the policy of each family can only have maximum 2 children or 2 kids, and if any family doesn't follow that regulation, they cannot get promoted in their career. And I think that is what such a very good and ideal policy that we can apply to solve overpopulation, as well as we can increase agency among women or debunk widely held myths about contraception. Um, those kind of methods can measurably change the trajectory of the world's population. Um, so I've informed you guys about the all of the valuable solutions for this social issue, which is overpopulation. So approaching to the end, you guys have been great listeners. So throughout my speech, I've informed you guys about about the causes, the effects, and the solutions of overpopulation. And because the earth is our own home, let's protect it together by stopping overpopulation. So from now on, let's spread knowledge about family planning, increase agency among women, and debunk widely held myths about contraception together to save the world from overpopulation. Thank you for listening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vi Nguyen. This evening, I would like to present to you guys my Toman analysis presentation, which I will be discussing and analyzing the 6 parts of a Toman model, as well as discuss and analyze the advertisement that I have chosen, which uses the Toman model. First, I would like to address the 6 parts of a Toman model first. According to an article named Toman Argument Model Benefits, Parts, and Example, published in 2023, the article said that there are 6 parts to the Toman model. The first 3 parts are claims, grounds, and warrants. Those are the required parts of a Toman model. The another 3 parts are backing, qualifier, and rebuttal. Those are the options that may help you to strengthen your argument, especially if you're trying to construct or analyze a more complex argument. First, a claim is your principal argument. It's the statement of opinion that you're trying to ask your audience to accept as true. Grounds are the evidence for your claim. Grounds can also be facts, data, or reasoning making the case for the claim. Grounds can also include opinions from experts in a field which is related to your arguments. Warrant is the assumption on which the claim or the evidence depend on. Another way of explaining warrant is that warrant explains why data supports the claim. Qualifier is a statement about how strong the claim is. Rebuttal is an exception to your claim. Backing are the reasons that support the warrant. Now, moving on to analyzing and discussing about the advertisement that I have chosen, which uses the Toman model. I chose the advertisement of Rimowa luggage. The claim of the advertisement is that the advertisement has an implicit claim, which is it's stated that a lifelong purpose that deserves a lifetime companion. The advertisement is trying to persuade
its viewers to buy the brand's luggage, which is a Rimowa's luggage. By watching the advertisement, the viewers will get inspired, and the advertisement implies that people like travelers, traveling lovers, celebrities, influencers, the ones who usually travel a lot around the world to make an impact or to make a change on the world, to make the world become a better place. They need a lifelong companion like Rimowa's luggage to make their travels to become easier or more convenient. Discussing about the grounds of the advertisement. The advertisement asks its viewers to make assumptions by watching the video and did not present any data explicitly. The advertisement sought to emphasize that if you want to travel around the world to work or to change the world, you need a Rimowa's luggage. And one explicit crowd I can think of to make the argument more persuasive is by asking the viewers a question. That is, how can you travel the world to make a positive impact without a reliable companion like a Rimowa's luggage? There is one qualifier to the advertisement, which is the qualifier is that the product would be more needed, would be more helpful, and could be consumed more by specific individuals such as travelers, traveling lovers, businesswomen, businessmen, influencers, and celebrities, because those people usually travel more than other people in the world. And discussing about the warrant of the advertisement, the warrant is that everyone wants to be successful in life. All of the things that we're doing, we're going to classes, we're studying, we're pursuing higher education, we're working, all of that is because everyone wish and dream to be successful in life. The backing of the advertisement is that the advertisement stated that no one builds a legacy by standing still. What it means is that in order to gain success in life, people should not, and people usually do not stay still, but they always develop and evolve themselves. And in that case, successful people like those celebrities, businessmen, businesswomen, they usually do not stay still, but they always develop and evolve themselves, figuratively or literally, by traveling around the world. And the rebuttals of the advertisement is that, well, you don't have to be significant or famous people like VIPs, celebrities, politicians, athletes, actresses, actors to travel around the world often to be able to use the luggage. The product or the luggage here, it simply and surely will be very useful for anyone who loves traveling near or far, because once you hit the road, you will definitely need something efficient and convenient such as a Rimowa's luggage to accompany you throughout your journey. And that'll be the end of my Tillman analysis presentation. Thank you very much for paying attention.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Sân khấu public speaking đầu tiên trong đời mình thì sẽ như thế nào?
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight, especially my best friend Valeria, Kiana, and Yana. Thank you so much. It's of my great honor. It's of my great honor to be standing in front of you today and to share with you my little life story, which I call Connecting the Dots. To begin with, I'd like to ask all of you a question and also a favor. Please help me to raise your hand if you feel relevant or if you have a yes of your answer to my question. Have you ever in your life felt lost? And can you look around the room? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your collaboration. And I'm not an exception. I've been there. I felt the same way, especially during my 3 years of my high school in Vietnam. Those 3 years had me question myself constantly a lot. Questions like, why was that happening to me? What did I do wrong? Or why was that so hard to get over or to get through something? Or that time, to be specific. And now I would like to tell you the story of how I connected the dots of my life so that it helped me to figure out why things happen the way they happen, and helped me to eventually understand and realize that everything in our life, they all happen for a reason. The first dot of my life, when I was 8 years old at a family gathering, my cousin asked me, "Hey V, what would you like to do when you grow up?" Immediately I responded to her, "I'd like to go study abroad and to see the world from outside of Vietnam." And she responded to me, "That's impossible, you can't." And yet, here I am today. So please don't ever let what other people think of or limit yourself of ever stop you from achieving your goals and your dreams. I feel lucky enough to be born in a family where, even though my parents are not extremely wealthy, however, I still feel like the luckiest girl in the world was because my family, my parents were the sweetest people in the world I have ever known, and they could afford us to have a comfortable life in Vietnam. And which I mean by that is we have enough to eat and to live day by day, or my parents could afford for me and my sister to go to schools or to attend universities only in Vietnam. So me standing here today was absolutely out of my parents' plan. And then I entered my secondary school, and my secondary school was the foundation of everything I could have achieved or become who I am today. When I entered my secondary school, the president of that secondary school, he was also an English teacher, and he found in me that I was good in the subject of English, and he selected me and put me in a selected team so that me and my peers could represent our school and to attend many English competitions. As a result, I was able to get into the best high school in my hometown. My parents were absolutely very happy and proud of me, and everything comes with a price. For the students to be able to attend that high school, we were all required to live in the dormitory, and yet my parents would want me to attend that high school at all costs. It was because they never graduated even from high school, let alone college. Therefore, they would want me to pursue education at all costs so that I can have a brighter future rather than they did. And at the beginning, I was extremely excited for what the future holds ahead of me. And little did I know that it was the biggest life-changing decisions I have ever made in my life. In the first few weeks, everything was going very well. I was very happy, enjoying my life and adapting to the new environment, making new friends. Until the next few weeks, I started feeling, something is going wrong. And what was that? I started feeling missing my parents really bad. And I started experiencing homesickness. And I started crying for months. Yeah, you heard it correctly. I cried for months. And fun fact about my high school. Has anyone here ever attended military? Probably. Okay, thank you. So my high school was very similar to military style. We were required to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every single morning and then exercise, like run around the whole campus. And we were required to study from 6:45 a.m. until 12 p.m., take a break, study again from 1:30 p.m. until 5 p.m., take another break, and then study again from between 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. All of those were required. And if we cannot abide by that rules, we will be expelled from the school. And no one would want to be expelled from that school because it was the best high school in the hometown. And For the first time in my life, I was struggling academically. For the first time, I was feeling like I was having peer pressure because I was feeling, oh my gosh, all of my classmates were so intelligent, so smart, so competent, so impressive, and I got no chance to keep up or to compete with them. About my social life, for the first time, I was having a hard time making close friends, and I felt like I could not trust or open up or talk to or share or talk to anyone. And this is the room that I live at. So this is our dormitory room, and in this little room, me and another 7 girls, we lived together in a room. So we had 8 girls together live in this little room for 3 years. We did everything together. We eat together, sleep together, study together, grew up together. And I started experiencing culture shock in my own culture because we all come from different locals in the big province. And we also started having lots of conflicts because of the cultural differences. And my academic life left me feeling the most burned out ever. My social life left me feeling the most lonely ever. And with all of those going on, I make a call to my parents as an exit and my last hope, and I was hoping they could give me some pieces of advice to guide me through that journey. I was thinking they were the one who loved me the most in this world. They gotta have something for me. And when I called them, I was updating what was going on. And the only response I received from them was, I don't know, that was your problem. Get over that. Go through that, fix that by yourself. Just keep going. They asked me to keep going without telling me how. At the age of 16, with all of those going on, I was feeling burned out, most lonely and lost, and now hopeless. And for several months after that call with my parents, I was living without knowing the purpose of my life anymore. I lost the purpose of my life because I was not even feeling happy and okay mentally. And on a beautiful evening, I was standing on a balcony on the 4th floor of my dormitory. I was looking down on the ground, and I was at my lowest point, the most lost and hopeless moments. I wanted to give up, literally and figuratively. And before I could have done any silly decisions, an inner voice started in myself. Hey V, what if you just give yourself more time? What if you just try a little bit harder? What if you can see light again at the end of the tunnel? And I used all of the energy and everything I could, and eventually I graduated from that high school in 2019. And in 2021, I decided to actualize my childhood dream that I have always had, the dream of going to study abroad. And that was me and my family. They were seeing me off at the airport. From Vietnam, I landed in the US on the 13th of January 2022, the day which I will never forget. And here I am today standing in front of you. I'm currently Vice President of Marketing of our San Jose City College Associated Student Government. I also work at the International Student Program as a student ambassador. I also work at the HJCC Marketing Department as a marketing intern / influencer / content creator. I'm also an honors student.
Come on, man.
And this was me when I was the editor-in-chief of the City College Times when I was in my very first semester at HJCC, and that was me after 3 weeks attending school in the US. I was taking my whole free trip to Long Beach to attend a national media conference. And other than my academic life and my professional life, I was able to make so many new friends who come from all around the world. Yeah, so clearly in the picture you can see Valeria, Kiana, and Ghana back there. Steve Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. When I was going through the hardships in my high school, I did not understand why did I have to go through those hardships? Why did I have to go through them? And only until now, by standing here in front of you all and by looking backward, I could only understand all of those hardships and events. They were essential to happen, so that they can build my character to become more resilient, to become stronger, to help me become who I am today and help me to achieve whatever I could have achieved. And right now, I'm also on my way to the finest universities in the world. I applied to UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC Santa Cruz, UC Riverside, and so I'm still waiting for the announcements from them. And so far, I got accepted into CSU of Northridge. So up until this point in my life, I am well aware that life can be challenging and unpredictable. And you might be going through something right now, or if in the future, if life throws unexpected hardships at you, before you think about giving up, I want you to do me another favor. After tonight, when you go home, before you think of giving up, I want you to help me to remember this very evening, this very stage, and this little girl who comes from Vietnam and think, if she could do it, I can do it too. And I believe in you all. Thank you so much.